G'day everyone, welcome to another video. This video kicks off with my lack of success with Katsu recently in the CC format and the incredible success I've had with Katsu in Blitz format. So I'm going to do this video on looking at the different deck builds, compare one to the other and find out what is exactly going wrong with the Classic Constructed version. Now, Blitz and Constructed, obviously very different formats and decks are built different. However, there are going to be some similarities and we're talking about consistency with the Constructed deck. There was one time when I played it and I was smashing face with it, but after a few more games and we start to see more games in the mix, I see that the consistency is absolute rubbish. And so, you know, a lot of people out there looking to build their own decks, not just net deck, and trying to understand what makes things work and what makes things not work. Now, I'm pretty blessed in our scene here that we have some plays that really test you, okay? We've got people that consistently top cut, who did consistently top cut at many, if not all of the skirmish events that happen down here, and consistently competitive no matter what locals that we go to and play. So, you know, sharing your information with others in your play group makes them better, makes you better. So really get that information out there, guys. Share that knowledge and make everyone better. Turn up to the events, make yourself better and really experience the whole scene. And that's what this is really all about. So I'm going to go through what the current Katsu deck look like. Now this is the Blitz deck, obviously. I'm going to change over to Katsu CC deck. Equipment, we're not really going to worry about it. I'm just going to go straight into what the deck looks like. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Now, as you can see, when I go through this without even looking at the cards in particular, we're seeing an awful lot of red. And that's what I'm finding. I'm finding whenever I draw up hands, there's very good chances that I'm picking up all reds, 4 cards being red. And when you have to block and defend, it's just not great. Like, you release one of these, you've only got pretty much 3 resources to play with in the next turn, and that's including a card that you want to play on a 3rd or 4th card down. So it really doesn't work. It's extremely aggro and if this deck goes off, it goes off, but not consistently, so it's not good enough. So if you look at that, there's just a sea of red, yellows and red, very little blues. Let's compare that to the Blitz deck, and this is the only comparison I'm really going to make between the Blitz and the CC. Yeah, we've got the red starting there, but then we see a sea of blue. Okay, now there might not be too much difference between that picture and the blues that you start seeing coming up there and round about here. Okay, we've got head jabs, you've got whelming gust wave, you've got Lord of Winds, you've got rising knee thrusts, all part of, and flick flacks if I'm going to extend the range depending on what deck I'm facing. Compare that down at the actual Classic Constructed, no, compared to the Blitz deck, you've got same range with the flick flacks, 2 of each card, you've got your rising knees, but then you've got the whole Crane Dance, Russian River, Fluster Fist, and Soul Bead Strikes. No head jabs, mainly. I've talked about this on another video why I went the Soul Bead Strikes. And you've got Fine Center there too. So, like, there's a similar amount of cards. And in this one, if I was to go up here, now I'll just make sure this is showing up for you all. So I've got 15 cards in here in the Blitz deck, okay? 15 blue cards at a pitch value of 3. This is why this FaB database is so good, because there's so much information on it that you can look at. Now that's 15 out of 40 cards, being 37.5% being blue, therefore being resources. If I was to look at the other deck, and let's bring that up, we've got 14 cards, and you might say, hey, that's pretty much the same, but we're talking about 71 cards, not 40. Now at 71, I try and get that down to 60 when I'm playing most decks because I want to rush, I want to be an angry ninja. But that's 14 out of 60 or 14 out of 71. So what are the stats on that? You've got 14 out of 71 cards is 19.7%. Compare that to the 37.5%. Just doesn't cut it. No wonder I am not finding it. If I go down to 60 cards, what am I looking at? I'm looking at, can't believe I didn't do this calculation. Let me just quickly do it. 14 divided by 60. We're looking at 23%, okay? So 14 out of 60, 23%. Still a far cry from the 37.5% of resource cards that I could potentially find. So that's where my problem is, yeah? It might not be so much in the build, but the colors themselves, which then presents another problem. All right. So when you're thinking about these cards, Legend Story Studios did something pretty smart in their game. When you're playing in Blitz format, you're 2 cards max and a 40 card deck, which equals about 5% of a particular card being in a deck if you've got 2 in there. If you've got only one of the cards in there in a 41, oh well, it's going to be 2.5%, isn't it? So if you do 3 cards in the 60 deck for Classic Constructed, it's actually 5% being the same. If you go up from there, maybe to 70 cards, 71 cards, you're actually losing some value there in regards to the percentage that it will be available. We're talking about if you only take 2 cards in the 60, you're looking at 3.3%. That is a massive drop from the 5. Now, you might think that's not so much, but when you're playing the card games, that is a huge drop. And if you only have one of a particular card, you drop into 1.6%. So if you are only going the 1 card, it's got to be for something that is not a major part of the deck, but when you see it, it's going to go off and it's going to be important enough depending on what point of the game that you're at, you know, like a remembrance or anything like that. You want that probably mid-game. Would be great to get some cards back in to fuel some more actions and attacks. So gets me thinking on what I can do about this CC deck, yeah? So we're going to leave the Blitz deck now. This Blitz deck is going bonkers. It's amazing. It died to Kano last night, but it took out Ira and it took out Guardian. The interesting thing I find about this is that people are blocking heavily not to allow the Katsu ability. And you know what? In my games, I'm probably only Katsuing once, maybe twice, and it is so effective. So when people talk about Ira being more effective, getting that 2 attack on that second attack or that +1 on the second attack, you've got to understand that we won't see that in Katsu so much because they're blocking so heavily on that 3rd attack or that 2nd attack if you play a normal card because they don't want to see your ability go off, yeah? Now, that's why I find that Katsu is so strategic, and you know, there might be a slight difference between Ira and Katsu, but a good player on Katsu I feel can take out most Ira players. It is a long game, as I found out last night. I had the Ira player on 1 life and it took forever to finish it off, mainly because we were both playing Sigils of Solace and they were coming just at the right times. But yeah, very tough game. But I think Katsu is still well up there. But let's go back to the Classic Constructed deck. And this is one deck that I've got to play tonight. I'm really looking to try and make a Viserai deck for tonight. But in the case that I don't have time, I need to fix this deck, yeah? So we're looking at getting, if I'm to take it up to about 30% of resources and I'm playing 60 cards, I need about 18 to 19 cards in blue resource cards, yeah? This is going to be hard for Katsu. We've got 14 cards in there at the moment. That's another 4 to 5 cards. That's a lot. If I'm playing the full 71 cards, I need 21 to 22 to keep that same ratio. Wow, that's going to be another 7 to 8 cards. So all of a sudden, these numbers can't be done, yeah? They just can't be, and that's only at 30%. If I'm taking it up to that 36 or 37% where the Blitz deck is running, for 71 cards, I need about 25 or 26 cards, which is another 12 cards. Can you believe that? And if I'm running at 60 cards, 21 to 22, so that's another 7 or 8 cards. So let's see what we can potentially do. Straight off the bat, I love my Ancestral Empowerments. I could probably go down to 2 on them. When they do come, they are amazing, especially seeing I've got a lot of ninja attacks in here. There are times when I am throwing it out for a resource, or I need to get it into my arsenal because there's nothing else to play on it, and it might be 2 turns before I get to play it. So that could potentially be a card that I could take out. But it is so impactful getting that +1, but not only that, drawing a card. And last night I went into Ancestral Empowerment, drawing into a Razor Reflex, and that really affected the game. I was able to play Razor Reflex, take 1 off the tunic, and then play a Blackout Kick, which was a crazy turn. Like, the person's like, wow, you know, and that was the Guardian player, so I needed to keep going wide on that. So there are times when this is great. We're still in the process of trying to find a balance in the deck, yeah? So I might go down to 2 for the Ancestral Empowerment, might even go down to 1 in the Blackout Kick. I love the Blackout Kick. I love having 2 because 1 I play, 1 I search for, yeah? It's a great card. So I've got to do my math in regards to whether maybe I take out a Command and Conquer in place of a Blackout Kick. I don't think so though, because I can search out the Blackout Kicks with Katsu's ability. So I might take out 1 Blackout Kick, keep the Command and Conquers. At one point I was running no Enlightened Strikes. It is a fantastic card. It's been giving me so much pressure on the opponent, especially for Blitz. But even in this game, you're coming up against like Guardian players and Warrior players, and it gives you the ability to attack for 5 or go for the attack for 7. Maybe draw a card, maybe go again. There's so much, and the fact that you can snap your Snapdragon Scalers for it, I'm really worried about taking it out. So let's come back to that if I need to take out any more cards. So at the moment, maybe an Ancestral Empowerment and a Blackout Kick, that's 2 cards, yeah? We're looking at the 60 card totals here. So let's just go with that for now. 60 card totals. What do I need? I needed 18 to 19. So I'm looking for 4 to 5 cards. That's 2. So I'm going to say 5 cards. All right. Now, Razor Reflex. Let's keep all 3 in there. I could go down to 2 on that as well. I'm just going to write these down. Ancestral, Blackout, and let's go down to 2 in Razors, yeah? Because unlike Warrior or anything, we do want to get our attacks through, but 2 might be enough, yeah, to cause the pressure. Leg Tap. Now, why don't we change these to blue? The problem with that is that your Kadashis work off 0s, and usually you want a Kadashi, yeah? These are 1 cost. You're not going to get the go again on Kadashis. And so with Leg Tap and with Surging Strike, as you'll see, they're going to be the problem cards. And reducing these cards as well and replacing with other cards lessens your chance of starting a combo and relying too much on that one instance where you get to break the scalers, or you're relying on your Razor Reflexes to give you that go again, and they've got a hit for that. These are given an automatic go again, and your next combos are getting all those benefits of gaining go again and the pluses and whatever else they do, such as the Whelming Gust Wave. So yeah, it's really hard to turn these to blue and also to take them out and replace them for other blue cards. So we're going to try and leave them, which then takes us on to Plunder Run. This is a fantastic card, especially against stuff like Warrior, Guardian, I guess Dash, or any decks really. Like, being able to go wide with some high attacks, it's just fantastic. But what are we playing this for? We're playing this for the draw. Most of the times I don't even care if an attack gets through. Yeah, it gets cards out of their hand, but I really want that draw to keep going wide. So effectively I could turn all these Plunder Runs into blues. My attack will still get +1, but every attack that has a potential to hit, the first one that does hit, I'll get to draw a card regardless of if this is red or blue. So I think this is one of the first ones. I might even do 2 of them at blue and 1 at red, who knows? But that's 3 cards right there that I could turn into blues straight away. We've got Ravenous Rabble. That can't be a blue. Over that and Scar for a Scar, I can't always be under the life total that the other person is. So Ravenous Rabble gives a consistent go again. You just don't know what the attack's going to be. I'm always going to go Ravenous Rabble for that sake. I missed out on the flick flacks on the right here. I usually put them in for Guardian so they don't deck me out, or I put them in for Warrior just to get that extra +2 on their attack reactions, yeah? So it's a tough one. Keep Ravenous Rabbles, the flick flacks, keep them in there. I've still got the blue flick flacks there. We go to Surging Strike, same problem that I have with Leg Tap. Let's just leave them for now. Whelming Gust Wave, I've got the whole gamut there. Sigil of Solace, fantastic, kept me alive so much and kept the games going. Scar for a Scar, I might even replace with the blues. So I've got some there, Scar for a Scar. And honestly, if I've got 71 cards and I need to get down to 60, I might forego all my 9 defense reactions. So it's 9, 10, 11, taking me down to 60 cards. So Scar for a Scar is really on the outlier there. I've got the full color of the Rising Knees, but I don't have a 3rd blue Rising Knee, so that's an addition I could put in, and I should put that in, especially in regards to maybe one of the Scar for Scars perhaps, just to give me that little bit extra. So already, if I was to change all of those ones to blue that I've said so far, I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That takes me, now that's 7 to 8 cards being onto the 14 takes me to 22, which puts me at 30% in a 71 card deck slot, okay? So I've done it there. If I want to get up to 35, I need another 4 cards. I'm not sure I can do it. Let's take a look. I got my head jabs in there. I was thinking of even replacing these with Soul Bead Strike, and last night in the Classic Constructor I actually replaced one out. Now the head jab gives me the consistent go again, okay? It's only got a 2 block, unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. However, let's see where we're at here. But that consistent go again is so important. I was able to put that down for Kadashi, head jab, you know, taking another card out of their hand. They don't want that head jab to hit. I'm going to Katsu off that. They don't know what I could pull out. I could pull out, where we go? The Blackout Kick. They don't want to see that. Or I could pull out a Hurricane Technique. I'm surprised in this I don't actually have the punch one. But yeah, I just don't. So head jab really fits into this deck. Against your release, it's in there. Lord of Wind, it is what it is. Same with Hurricane Technique, only 1. So Remembrance is another card. I haven't really been seeing it at all in the deck. And when I am, it's probably going to be at the wrong time when I need to block. So that's mostly going to come out for a blue as well. So Remembrance. So from this discussion, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards. That's pretty good. Even on 14, taking me to 23, that's just under the 36%, probably about 35%. And so that's where we are sitting with everything like that, okay? So guys, thank you for taking the time with me. Look, that was just one example of, you know, looking at a deck construction and seeing what else we could be doing better. Yeah, these are the 0 costs. The costs are fine in this deck. Like, look at that. 48 cost zeros. That's fantastic, especially for the Katsu ability. If I was to bring this up, like, we've got a lot of reds. Look at that. 37 cards out of the 71. Wow, that is crazy amount. 2 costs, drop that down a bit, and that. You know, we might look at, in desperation, throwing out a Surging Strike for a blue Surging Strike, and the same with a Leg Tap, putting in another blue in there. Maybe looking for it for the play, or maybe using it for an energy to fuel maybe some of the bigger attacks such as a Command and Conquer or anything like that. So yeah, deck construction continues while my Blitz deck is going bonkers at the moment. Classic Constructed is really struggling. And we're in that point now where I want to try different heroes before Monarch drops, but I also want to not leave Katsu undone. So it just means more games in just to get a feel for it. Hopefully close off these videos and start concentrating on some other characters. Yeah. Alright. Thank you for your time today, everyone. Hope to see you on future videos. If you've got any suggestions or any feedback, please leave it down in the comments below. See you all.